Eastern Cape now, where there's confusion as to the reasons behind a tragic triple murder and suicide. 38-year-old Butterworth mother, Bongeka Buso, allegedly killed her 3 children before taking her own life. Those that know her say she was a loving mother who could not stand to see her children suffer with hunger. But the Eastern Cape government says this is not the case, as she had access to social grants. Ronald Masinda filed this report.
It's a tragedy that society at large is still trying to make sense of. How can a mother who is supposed to protect her children be the one to take their lives?
Ningathi intoni nobangela ba ubongeka abulale abantwana naye ngoba kuthethwa ngento ba besematyaleni, kuthethwa nento ba ifamily bisokola.
Ayicingi ayinakwenzeka loo nto uba bekusithiwa ebisokola ifemeli inkulu le femeli ezifuna into yoba angasokola. Xa bekunodityana kuyile femeli siyazi loo nto, ndiqinisekile ibingenawuzenzeke loo nto.
Bongeka Buso and her children Uratile, Urabile and Anati, aged 5, 9 and 16, were found dead at their home 2 weeks ago. The Department for Social Development in the Eastern Cape says while Buso wasn't well off, she and her children benefited from social grants, and it's for this reason that MEC Bukiwe Fanta believes hunger was not at play.
The news was that they died of hunger. For me, as a MEC for Social Development, was to first check the kids if they were on grant. Because that's the first step for me. When I check with the officials, all the kids, they were getting their grant. I check with the Department of Education where the kids were schooling. The nutrition, is it there? Nutrition is there. Then for me, I said it's more than hunger.
But activist Petros Majola believes that, given the tough economic times, it's not possible for a family to survive on just a social grant and a school's nutrition program.
But that grant is not enough. Let us be realistic, because 480 rand per month is nothing. I mean, you finish that one in 1 week or in a number of days. And also these kids, most of them, they only eat when they are at school. When they are at home, there's no breakfast, there's no lunch.
In a country where gender-based violence and femicide have become an epidemic, it's unusual to hear of circumstances where a mother is the perpetrator against the most vulnerable. And while some of these horrific incidents may be triggered by issues of mental health and the absence of fathers in their children's lives, the South African Human Rights Commission in the Eastern Cape says the issue of malnutrition shouldn't be overlooked.
Child malnutrition and hungry kids in our country, and specifically also the Eastern Cape, is definitely an issue. The data shows that 27% of kids are stunted, and in the Eastern Cape it is 25%. That basically means that kids are hungry and they are not developing to their full potential because they are not getting the food that they require to do so. So at the end of last year, the Human Rights Commission hosted an inquiry into the state of malnutrition in the province, and we were very concerned about what we were hearing.
The SA Human Rights Commission and NGO The Gift of the Givers say hunger has become a humanitarian disaster, and one that needs to be addressed immediately to prevent more tragedies similar to what could have pushed Buso and her children to their deaths. Ronald Masinda, Butterworth in the Eastern Cape.